Hi everyone! We're live here with Munro Chambers and some awesome fans on our first Google Hangout with Munro. So if you guys we're gonna go around and say hi to everybody that we've invited into this Hangout and to all of our fans that are watching live right now on YouTube. All right, so we'll get started, and I know you guys have so many questions and we saw so many online already. We'll kind of just get started and yeah, all right. Okay, so let's say hi to Brittany first. So, Brittany, if you want to unmute and just introduce yourself.
Hi, Munro.
Hi, Brittany.
Okay, what am I supposed to say?
Say whatever you want.
Yeah, so where are you from?
I'm from North Carolina.
Woo!
Live close to Boone.
Close to Boone?
Mm-hmm.
Boone. That was a character in Lost.
Yep.
Cool, North Carolina, nice.
All right, so we'll say hi to Courtney.
Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm from Ohio. Nothing special. That's all.
Hi, Ohio, Courtney.
I'm just gonna. And Jordan. Is it Jordan?
It's Jordan, and hi, Munro.
Hi, Jordan.
I'm from California.
Woo!
Yep. Not the fun part, though. Just the
Not
boring
the fun part of California?
No, I'm from Northern California. That's kind of boring.
Okay. I wouldn't know, but
You should find out.
make the fun.
Yeah.
Mallory?
Okay, hi, I'm Mallory. Hi, Munro.
Hi, Mallory.
I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi, which is actually the birthplace of Elvis Presley, so that's kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So hi.
Love Elvis. He's a good guy. Good cat.
Awesome. Okay, thanks so much for joining us. So if you guys want to get started with questions, or maybe Munro even wants to do a little intro first, or if you want to say hi to everybody.
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys so much for even being a part of this. This is awesome. It's my first time doing this, so I'm excited. I'm excited to hear from you guys, especially you guys are from the States, and I'm not. And I'm happy you guys could be with us, and I hope that it's a fun experience for all.
Awesome. Okay, so let's just get started with a few questions inside the room, and then we're going to take it out to the people that have commented on YouTube and on Google Plus and on Facebook. So don't worry, everyone. We're definitely going to be getting all your questions, and hopefully Munro will have some time to answer it for us. So let's start with Brittany.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well, all my questions are on Tumblr, and I cannot get to them, so I'm just going to have to wing it here.
Cool.
Let's see. Okay, next Friday is the 21st, and apparently the world's supposed to end then. What would you spend your last day on Earth doing if you knew that the world was going to end that next day?
If I were you, I'd probably find a jumping castle and have a lot of fun on that for a good couple hours. Go snowboarding for a little bit. Honestly, to be real, that I just spend time with my family. If that was actually gonna happen, just spend the most time I could with my fams. Play Scrabble or something.
Very cool. Sorry, it seems like we're having a little bit of lag there. Can you hear us, Brittany? Okay, sorry, I think there's just a little, I think you're on mute. Okay, there we go. All right, sorry about that. Okay, how about you, Courtney? Do you have any questions?
Can you hear me? All right.
Yes, we can.
My friend, who goes by Music Snob on the internet, she's anonymous, but she's awesome. We're big fans of your acting. And we were wondering if you ever practiced in a mirror. Like, for an example, in Umbrella, when Claire shows up at your doorstep and wants to spend the night, you go from shocked to interested to confused, like in the span of 5 seconds. So do you practice in front of a mirror, or does it just come naturally to you? We just really thought of that scene as an example.
I've never done the mirror thing. I think for us, for actors, our mirror training is looking at ourselves while in other episodes. That's the funny thing with Eli, is that there's a lot of times where he has to do 5 different emotions in one expression or one line. and it's fun for me. It's difficult when I'm trying to get it all across, and I hope it does. So I'm glad it did. But I've never done the mirror thing. I feel like it would work, but I feel like I get distracted because you'd be like, oh, I got a pimple. Like I feel like I just look at them like pimples on my face, something like that.
And speaking of which, we actually have one of our directors in the room right now. If you want to come in and say hi.
Come on in.
Come on in. So we have an extra treat here.
Which one?
Come on in.
Hi guys.
If you want to introduce yourself and say hi, we're actually live on air right now on YouTube and to the internet.
Wow,
We're actually live on a stream with Munro Chambers, and we have a hangout with some of our really awesome fans who have entered this contest. And we have Mitch here, who's one of our directors on the show. If you want to say hi and introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name's Mitch Ness. I worked with this guy on a ton of stuff. We did a show called The Latest Buzz prior to coming on to Degrassi.
Yes.
And I was the director of photography on season 12, and was fortunate enough to direct a block of season 12, which we can't talk about it because it hasn't aired yet.
No.
But I got to work with this guy, which made it really fun. And I didn't even realize you guys were doing this today. Just happened to drop in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, so now we have, do you guys have any really quick questions? Give me a thumbs up if you have any questions for Mitch, and we'll jump back in. And maybe some secrets about Munro, perhaps, that Mitch can share for us.
Mitch, come on, don't. We're friends still. We're friends.
Awesome. Okay, so actually, thanks for that awesome question, Courtney. And Jordan, you've been waiting patiently, so do you have anything to ask Munro?
I guess my only question is, since your character is like bipolar, there's a lot of bipolar people in the world. That sounds really dumb, but so you've kind of touched a lot of lives with that and inspired a lot of people to deal with their issues a lot more. So I guess, how do you feel about that?
It's honestly one of the best experience. One of the best parts about being on Degrassi is because we do tackle real issues with our scripts, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to achieve a genuine performance, and we're trying to make sure that when they watch it, they feel that they're not alone and that it comes across in the right way. We're not trying to put a spotlight on it, and we're not trying to mock it in any way. We're trying to make sure that when they see it, they can relate to it. And so it's awesome for me to hear people who watch it and say, like, listen, your character on Degrassi made me more comfortable with it, because it made me feel like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not just dealing with it by myself. So it makes me feel it's a pretty cool feeling.
All right, thank you.
All right, great question. Mallory, do you have anything for us?
Sure. Actually, mine kind of expands on what Jordan was talking about. Because one of the things I actually really, really love about Eli's character is that his bipolar disorder has never been, like, kind of too extravagant. It's always been very real and very genuine. And for me, that was kind of important because my mom is actually bipolar, and so it's something that I, can closely relate to. And I wanted to know if there's, like, what kind of research did you have to do to get into that mindset and to know kind of how to play that way?
I did a lot of research. It was the same thing when I had to do hoarding with the OCD. I've watched many documentaries on the internet. I read a book about it, and I also have got some people close to me who also go through it the same way, and who also who are bipolar and some manic depressed and that kind of stuff, who are very, very close to me. So I got to talk to them and kind of learn more about it, and it's funny how you have an idea of what it is, and then it's completely different, and it's so that's that whole spotlight, and it's the whole the media puts, like, what am I trying to say, like the media can maybe spin it into it, or makes it a lot more of a caricature, but this is like a very in-depth and nuanced portrayal of it. Absolutely. Exactly. So it's like it's a very specific type, and every person with this disorder is very different, and so it was kind of taking people's experience and people's disorders and kind of creating my own. And it's kind of like a chef where he takes different kinds of ingredients and makes his dish, and that's what my goal was.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, actually, thank you so much for that question. So we're going to jump on to some questions that we've got from some of our fans that have posted online. So this question is from Chandra Olivia and from Google+. So do you have any advice for anybody who's interested in getting into acting? You've been acting for years and years, so. You definitely have some tips for us.
Yeah, acting. If you want to get into it, you have to have a lot of patience. You have to have a thick skin, and you have to. I just did an interview for this magazine called Phase, and one of the biggest things I say is that you need to fall in love with rejection. You need to. It's not going to be a fantasy world, and maybe it is. You never know. You can go out and audition. You'll be the next big star. You know, Lois Lane, new Amy Adams, so redo it. But you're gonna have to go through a lot of hardships. You're gonna have to audition and get denied, and then you're gonna have to some embarrassing stuff where like, maybe it won't feel good to you. But if you want to do it and you feel like you want to make it a career, then you have to go for it. You have to put your heart into it. You can't just go into it thinking, oh, I'm just gonna half-ass it, and I'm gonna go into it not expecting the worst. You have to be real about it. You have to understand that it is a very tough industry, and I'm doing it now. Like I'm enjoying a time here, but if I were to leave Degrassi, what my next job would be. It's like you have to go out and explore, and it just takes a lot of patience.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does. So Courtney, do you have any questions for us?
Okay. What has been the most difficult scene as Eli to film, and the most fun that we've seen?
The most fun. One of the most fun was being high with Justin Kelly. That was a lot of fun. Because it's always fun working with him because he's one of my best friends, and it's always fun to kind of do silly things on screen with him. So that was a lot of fun. Another one that was a lot of fun for me was the scene in Extraordinary Machine where Eli has his complete meltdown on stage.
Yeah.
That one was just pure fun. I love that kind of stuff. I would love to do that for the rest of my life as a character. And one of the most difficult ones, I think, there's a couple. I think it was the hoarding one, especially because it was my first time really tackling a disorder like that and tackling a real person.
Yeah.
And to make sure that it's real and genuine. And even with the bipolar hoarding, but it kind of changed from being angry and being sad and being worried. But with hoarding, it was such a thing where it's that one thing is his life. So recognizing that those little things that were in the trash can, that were in his locker, just kind of take them out of the trash and kind of figure out, okay, what did this mean to him? Where was this? Was this Julia's? Like those kind of things.
You mentioned Julia. We haven't heard about her in so long. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Well, she's dead.
Yeah.
Well, no, and it's never like that. I don't think. I don't know. That was kind of harsh towards her. Rest in peace. But
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. But that was the whole. That was probably one of the most difficult.
That's a great question. Thank you. I'm actually just gonna jump out into a question from YouTube, and this question is from SkySoft101, and this is a question about what's your favorite episode of Degrassi? What has been your favorite episode of Degrassi?
Oh, one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
This could be something
that
you've
been in, or
yeah,
that
it could be that you've been in, or that you've watched. Maybe one of these.
Yeah. My favorite episode to be in was Extraordinary Machine, 100%. And then there's one that is really, really good. And that's one of my favorites to watch. And but you haven't seen it yet, so you'll see later. And then one of the other ones is probably I think it was Underneath My Skin. It was the one with Jordan Todesy, where with her.
My Body Is a Cage.
My Body Is a Cage. That one was an amazing episode.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other really funny ones. It's hard for me because it's been like we have 40 episodes a season, so it's hard to get involved in.
Yeah.
But,
can they all be favorites? I think that's.
They're all really good. So it's hard for me to pinpoint them. But I remember, for me personally, it was Extraordinary Machine, and I remember My Body's Cage was a really well done episode, performance and writing.
Yeah, and there's also got to be a lot of really, really great Eli moments coming up in this season, the remainder of season 12 too. So we can't talk about those yet, but just stay tuned. Also, okay, so we'll jump back into the room for another question. Mallory, do you have a question?
Of course. So I feel like I will get so much hate if I don't ask about this, considering who's in the room with me. What are your feelings on the land of Degrassi fan fiction, and have you actually read any?
The land of what?
Degrassi fan fiction.
Fan
Have you read
fiction?
any?
I have not read any Degrassi fan fiction. Is
Do you
that...
want to, Mallory? Do you want to tell us a little bit about what fan fiction is, just for Monroe? Maybe just maybe like a one-sentence definition.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like writing short stories using all the characters and the scenarios and stuff from Degrassi, but just writing your own storylines.
Oh, okay. I know because I got a tweet I think it was a couple months ago about there was a whole Fitz and Eli, and then Eli was gay for Fitz, and there was like a whole like fighting and then they kiss. I remember reading that and I was like that's a twist. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. I think it's very fun to see the fans kind of get creative and kind of it shows their dedication to the show.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, like I've done that with like Breaking Bad and like Lost, and I've always been like, I wish they did that. Like this would be a really cool storyline. So I think it's really cool. I think it's it shows it's just cool. I like it.
Yeah, very cool. And maybe there'll be like a 50 Shades of Grey spin-off on Degrassi.
OMG.
All right, thank you, Mallory. That was a great question. We're actually just going to jump out to another question that we have on YouTube, and this question is from C. Faith. And this question is, how was traveling with Free the Children?
Oh, amazing. It's hard for me to figure out, like, find new words to even, like, say about it, because I feel like a broken record, but it's an incredible experience. The partnership that we have is so great, and to be able to do that, especially with people, like, the cast members here who, like, are my best friends. To do that, I feel like it's such a bonding experience, and you really find a lot about yourself, and then you're not as ignorant to the world when you go to those kind of experiences. Like, and they're just so beautiful, and then you see how happy they are, and like you think that they'll be such like they're so destroyed and like they're sad, and it's a little kid on the in a puddle or something, and there are aspects of that are kind of true, but a lot of times they're just happy. They have their family, they have connections, they have their life. And it's a very different life than what we live, but it doesn't mean that it's a terrible, terrible life.
Yeah. And you also visited India for Free the Children. So
Yes.
what was the difference like for you there? Like, I mean, going to India and going to Ghana this time around.
India was ridiculous because that was my first trip, and India is so beautiful. And so was Ghana,
Yeah.
but India, I feel there was such these big mountains, and India was like it was really, they didn't, like their houses were made of like rock and mud. That's like in the place we stayed. I'm sure like in New Delhi, they've got towers and stuff like. But we always go to like the rural places where it's poverty.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow. Pretty remarkable experience. And if you guys have checked out the documentary of Degrassi in Ghana, and yeah, that's sort of a plug, but it's also just really inspiring what you guys did there. So. All right. So we have I know that Jordan, you've been jumping at the bit for the next question. So Jordan, go ahead.
Okay, number one, both of the Degrassi Inn specials that I've seen that you were in were really good. Just throwing that out there. And number two, so now that you know like the impact you've had on people as Eli, originally you auditioned for Drew. Would you change that decision?
Would I change like would I want to be Drew?
Yeah. Would you ever take that back?
No, I would love Eli. I love him.
Right.
I love the character. I think.
It's okay. Drew's cool too, though.
Sorry?
Drew's cool too. Come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
hate.
That's what I was getting into. Like Drew's had some amazing storylines, especially with the Fight Club and with the postpartum and all that kind of like he's gone through so many crazy things. But I'm no football player, so. And Luke it just does Drew so well, and so I'm like it's hard for me to even imagine like trying to be Drew. I feel like my take on Drew would be different than his.
This sounds like an awesome webisode mini idea. If Eli was Drew and Drew was Eli.
That would be so much.
Like you know that if like Jay was Emma and Emma was Jay, you should totally do that. That would be pretty intense.
I would talk to Luke and we could 100% do that.
Oh my gosh, that would be. And I would be really interested to see if Jake was Eli and Eli was Jake.
Yeah.
As well.
I just want to see Luke with eyeliner on. I just want to see him with eyeliner.
There's probably pictures around the internet with that.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, great question. Thank you, Jordan. All right, so we're gonna jump out to another question on YouTube really quickly. So this one is from, let's see, yeah. So this is a question from Laud E, and the question is, if a bear and a shark had a fight, who'd win?
A bear and a shark would fight.
This is a tricky question.
Well, it's difficult. I think.
Is it on water or land?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Is it on water or land? There's so many holes in that question.
Thank you, Laud. Thank you for that question.
Yeah. I'd have to go shark, probably, because the bear would be like, oh, I'm just gonna go into the water. I'm just gonna swat at it, and then the shark would just eat it. It depends how big the shark is.
Also true.
It's how big the shark is. Just eat it.
True.
I'd go shark.
Yeah, sharks are pretty badass. All right, so this is the next question. Brittany, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, I do. What character on the show, personality-wise, do you think you're most like in real life? Past generation or current generation?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I'm trying to think because personalities are mostly.
Maybe. That's a good question.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Craig, maybe? Before the,
Oh my gosh, I was going to guess that.
maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably say like maybe
Craig?
Maybe Craig, because you're pretty artistic.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I consider myself a nice guy.
That's Tom.
I'm nice. Yeah, I guess Craig. I guess.
I think that's a pretty good pick.
Or Wesley.
Yeah. No, Wesley's a great character.
No, I love.
Or even kind of Dave, because it's kind of like the boy next door, like you're. Yeah.
Sure, I guess.
A little bit too.
But then a little bit of like.
Yeah, but you're not a jerk like Dave.
Dave can be a jerk.
He can make some bad choices, but I don't know. Yeah.
You guys just froze. And now I'm seeing Courtney. I'm not seeing.